So, wondering what I talk about today. If anything, might talk about feels strange today. Anybody knows what that is? So, some people know. Should I talk about censorship? What's the point? We need to do something about censorship. Talking about it won't solve anything. It will have a lot of people to agree with you sometimes, and some people to resent you because they've been taught otherwise. And it's really hard to get rid of conditioning, especially when it starts at an early age. I tried to talk about a topic in Quora, old topic actually, but because I posted a recent reply, getting into technicalities about the question of the person, something to do with calling old people creepy by default. The person didn't understand why creepy old men would flirt with them. Well, after an extensive explanation, I gave the short, concise point that was, if you leave the creepiness behind, they're still human, and humans, they are attracted to beauty. So they try to flirt because they find it attractive, they find a person beautiful. Apparently, that kind of reply, something that is not based in pure prejudice, is that the correct word? Remember, English is not my first language. So, because of that, Quora sent me a notification that my post was removed because it was hate speech. Now, there are two things there. Hate speech, the concept is based on a ridiculous concept. There are laws against slander. If slander is the case, then there are laws against it. I understand slander, and we can debate slander. I do not understand the concept of hate speech, especially because authorities and corrupt politicians and basically evil people, if you are a corrupt politician, you are technically evil. Much, much more than somebody who mugs people in the street. You mug the entire society that you're supposed to represent. Since I have to explain even that sometimes to some people. But yeah, apparently they have a huge issue with me stating that by defending old people and by explaining that they do flirt with young women. Oh yeah, the point was, why do they flirt with young women? Well, they are women and they're young. It means, again, I gave a very technical and sometimes passionate explanation to why people would be attracted to young women. It's technically instinctive. Both men and women are usually attracted to young women because it's one of our ideals of beauty. You doubt me? Please, by all means, go to a museum and check the statues throughout the history of humankind if you think that I'm being absurd here. So, I just literally told them to go to hell. I told the moderation in Quora to go to hell. I explained my case. I started with a quote from Kafka. You're guilty. Oh yeah, I'm getting point 2. They didn't specify what text, or at least I didn't see it anywhere, what text that I wrote that was so heinous that they had to remove it and to notify me. Why do you even notify if the person is a hate-mongering person? You writing to them might trigger some other aspects of that person that are not good either. People who would go, provided that the people who use that word hate speech or that sentence, that denomination, would have any, if they are deemed to be, practicing hate speech, censoring them won't shut them up. It really won't. It will justify in their heads. Now, I'm not one of those people, but I'm livid because my job, like the work, the task that I took for my life, is to talk freely. Like part of my task, the reason I must earn money is to speak freely. And I used to be a member of several political organizations. I was for some period of time member of, if you want, started as anarchist, then I became a nationalist, just like Machno was becoming. The conclusions that you start drawing once you start practicing anarchism proper leads you to another. Machno, even to try to appease the anarchists, he came with the idea of platformism. That was technically kind of, needless to say, Machno did not marry an anarchist woman. He married a nationalist teacher. So anarchists usually end up, once they grow up, once they mature, once they realize things are not about themselves, they tend to become nationalists. I'm going to aggravate so many anarchists. Well, that's the reality. And if you doubt me, feel free to question me in this sense. I'll be glad to provide evidence. Let me be, there are more people in the room other than you, my fellow anarchists, my good anarchist people. I have no issues with anarchists other than they allowing socialists to tell them what to do. And then another box, another can of worms here, because some anarchists believe that they are socialists. Again, I'm diverging. Back to the topic. I have explained in previous videos, move on. What's the difference between anarchism and socialism? Then I joined the Conservative Party for some years, and was kind of disappointed because I saw a lot of hypocrisy there. Nice people, but hypocrisy. They don't practice really what they preach. At the end of the day, for conservatives, it's really all about the money, as long as they can get away with keeping up appearances, which they like. They usually live a totally different life from that they claim to preach, especially the political class. Their political class, I won't dwell into that. They received me very well. I am not ungrateful, so I'll leave it at that. But it saddened me more than, I didn't get angry, but I got a bit sad. If they just stuck to their ideas that they really claim to follow, they would soon realize that some of those ideas were wrong and would, open their minds for a change. So I cannot be called unknowledgeable. I decided, for good sake, to join the socialist parties, and it was an interesting experience, you know. Sure, the thing is not really the money, but it's really like owing favors. You end up owing favors to people, like they will give you, especially when you're young, they will give you technically what you want. They will struggle to get what you want. But then, when you refuse to do something for them, then they will use that thing that they gave you, like gave, as blackmail, as to force you to do what they want you to do. Now, you are uttering nonsense, Jan. Well, I'll tell a little story. Some months after I joined the Socialist Party, I was looking for an apartment in Copenhagen because I needed to study, I think it was economics, at the Royal University of Copenhagen. And the people at the party were really nice with me. There was this old Stalinist, he kind of took me under his wing. A great guy. I have no complaints. People have a very wrong notion of Stalinists usually. I won't get into details, but Stalin would probably have executed him for some of his personal preferences, let me put it this way. Extremely nice guy, very good guy, at least, apparently, at least as far as I went. Very helpful, but he told me that, he asked me, where do you want to live? And then I told him, and then, like, I was looking at apartments. He said, oh, would you like to live in Charlottenlund? Charlottenlund is one of the finest places in Denmark. It's what they call Erland, or Berlin. It's where all the snobs of the entirety of Denmark tend to live, and old ladies. But apparently half of the place is owned by the members of the Socialist Party of Denmark. They all seem to live there, either in apartments or in those big houses. They live like in a group of people. Like, very interesting. It's a very interesting way of living. I don't find anything wrong if it works for them. Good on them. You know, like I know they are most of their families in the history of Denmark, that now they can live in one of the finest areas. Look, they were quiet. I saw the places. They were neat and tidy. They were not dirty like in the suburbs and the places where the socialist youth usually gather. No. The people, the older generation of socialists at least, their places are neat and tidy. They probably put all, I don't know, it's speculations. I won't. I don't like when it's done to me, so I don't want to do that to other people. The golden rule, remember, I have to stick by it. So, with pleasure. If more people did that, we would have an amazing society, I so believe. So, the thing, what is the best angle? This is the best angle, right? This looks a bit weird. It's from, I'm technically right below my chin. So, yeah, something of the sort. Anyway, holding this is very funny. Ooh, so tired. So I wanted to live in an apartment there, and said, "Oh, we have some communes there, and there's this girl like in that apartment, right in front of the train station, so you can go to the university. It's perfect." I thought, "Wow, this is great. It would be great, right?" And then I went there, and I thought it was really interesting. Like, all sorts of people lived there. Like, she was renting rooms, right? It was a huge apartment. And she seemed fine. Mulata, which was at least kind of rare in Denmark. Very good looking. She had there was something strange about the huge white dog that was always around her. I found that very strange. But anyway, again, speculations, right? Um, and I went there in my finest. Like back then, I was kind of in the Yuppie vibe. I was dressed in my Armani and all that in my mid-20s. Yeah, I had a life. Can you believe it? So I went there, I saw the place, I found it interesting. And then the guy talked with her. Oh, look, so we got you the place. And then he went to talk to her and said, oh, he's a fine guy. He might have a future here in the party. And, you know, pa 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 pa. They were really helping me. Actually, I was baffled to find out how the socialists, how it is easy to become a part of the parliament, of the government, to how they have access, how easy access the socialist parties have to the parliament. Like another thing, he asked, oh, what would you like to do in politics? Oh, really? Would you like to go that? Oh, okay, cultural department. Oh, sure, you just need to go there to Christianshavn, and it's that place, and talk to that people you're in. And I thought it was great, you understand? And I do understand why the appeal with the youth today with socialism is because they perceive it as that easy, you understand? They are taken serious, apparently, by the socialists, while everybody else kind of spits in the youth today. Everybody else is afraid of the youth because of the laws, you understand, like that are created to scare people more than anything else. Apparently, but he was fine. But the girl didn't like me for whatever reason. I think she realized that I realized something she might be doing with the dog. I didn't say anything, and again, I was really well dressed and all the mannerisms of a young academic. So, but she, you know, those people who have guilt in their conscience, they think everybody's after to get them. That's the thing with your conscience. When you do something that you consider to be wrong, it's very Edgar Allan Poe. If you ever read his tales, you know what I'm talking about. How things tend to spiral just because of a silly thought. It starts as a silly thought. Poe, he tends to drag this thought further and further until it becomes insanity. And it's very interesting. And the guilt was there then, because she didn't like me for whatever reason, although she was obviously snobbing upwards, which is fine. I have nothing against it. If you have to snob, maybe upwards. So, but she didn't like me for whatever reason. Like to live there, you know. We are not, the other people were living there, right? People who actually liked me and talked. And then she decided, because it was her apartment, what she usually constantly said, I heard that 3 times at least when she was talking with the other people who lived in the apartment, and I noticed they kind of rolled their eyes, like, oh, she's saying that again. But anyway, then the guy got serious with her and said, no, but why? What are you talking about? Why are you deciding? No, because it's my apartment. And then I decided. And then he said, look, your apartment? Remember who gave it to you? Remember who is paying for your apartment? So apparently the Socialist Party was paying for her apartment, and I'm not going to say which socialist party it was because I'm not a fucking snitch. But this tale is just to illustrate how things seem to work. Maybe I took it wrong. I can always be wrong, but what if I'm right, right? So they live in a system of favors. They do favors to the youngsters, and then at some point, because usually the youngsters tend to take it to the next level and might end up committing crimes in the process of believing in ideology as we see today. And then the party has more power over them because, as I saw, the guy started pulling every single thing that they have done for her. So therefore, she needed to do at least that, as he never asked her for anything. Now, I felt uncomfortable because for me, personally, other people might be okay with that, but if the person who, even if it just symbolically, as I just realized, happened to own the place, do not like me, why in the world would I live? I did not want me there. Why would I live there? You know? So I ended up not accepting, despite the fact that he forced her to, by the favors, to let me live in her apartment. And then on the way back, we were having conversation, then he started talking about he would like to send me to South America because since I know a lot about South America, the mannerisms and all that, he might need me down there to do some things for them. And the way that he said some things, I found very strange, and he asked me if I had experience with weapons. As far as I remember, somebody in the party, and I explained I had some, and said, "Oh, we might definitely need you there." And I thought, Jesus. Again, by the way, I don't have any currently religion. I do believe in a higher power. We can debate what it is, but truth is, as science puts it, we do not have the technology yet to research such a phenomena. I stand with science in their definition of the issue, if there is a God or not. So we cannot yet research it because we lack the technological skills to research a God. So I hope you can forgive me if I mention science in my defense. Yeah, I bet many of you thought that scientific position about it was somehow different. Well, you'll be surprised in how science and academia in general are different from what you understand they might be about. But anyway, back to the topic. So I found it fascinating, and this might be a good system. It's kind of very tribal. Tribes might have worked this way, in the time of bartering, before currency made everything easier. It actually gave more power to the people, not less. But in the times that you would barter, of course, you would also barter for favors, right? You did a lot of favors to some people, then you expect that one day when they make it, they give you something considerable in return, right? Well, it was an interesting experience, and I'm just saying that again to illustrate the depth to which I went to each one of those parties. And that one needs more specification because nowadays that's the hot topic, so people need to to have a more definition before they, at least, actually, it's usually the first thing, you know nothing, or read a book or whatever. Yeah. Read probably more than anybody who would tell me to read a book. But anyway, so I was in that level in the Socialist Party. I had a good time there, was well treated, but mainly because I didn't owe favors to anybody, because that was the first lesson I got about that place. If you do a favor to someone, someday they will force you to live with someone you can't stand for whatever reason. People have different reasons, right? Saddens me, but I guess she was more into her white dog than, who knows. But anyway, and I would definitely not like to bump into such a situation. Experience had made me wise. It has also made me skeptical about people's goodwill. But so I have some knowledge about the political parties I've been into, so I can make statements and I can make conjectures and I can draw conclusions because I've seen it all. Now, the reason that I left the Socialist Party, because I bet some will inquire eventually if I ever become popular, and they can check it. I wrote a very polite letter to that political party when I left to make my intentions clear, because with them everything needs to be clear, and they will use it against you or not, depending on how useful you might be. But when they started supporting religious terrorism, that's when I kind of quitted. Not kind of, like I definitely say, look, I like your party and it's great to think about the worker and all, but I don't remember exactly what I wrote, but something in the sort, I can understand and we can agree in several things, but like if you claim to be against religion and you're supporting religious fundamentalists, there's something wrong here, and since I have not been clarified, I must leave. I do not agree with this. I do not support terrorism. So I left. That's my stance. I believe that in our society, especially current society today, we still have checks and balances that do not force us to take arms against each other, right? Maybe I'm just candid, but we have laws. Why not use them, right? I just made 2 last videos explaining how you can actually use religion to save philosophy. The major killer of philosophers, how you can actually use that in your favor. So, yeah. So when we get to the nitty-gritty of it all, this whole censorship of anything under the guise of hate speech, that's what drives me nuts. I don't like liars, and I don't like stupidity. Those are 2 things. Like, look, you can be simple-minded. I love simple-minded people, because with them things are simple. If you remain simple with them, they do more than you can. They can definitely kick your ass in many things, including work. They even do things faster, I'm afraid. So I have nothing against simple people. They're necessary to our society. Without them, half of the things that we have would have never been. Because visionaries are very important. But the simple people who can see the true benefits, who are not shaded by the nonsense, by the gibberish, by the academic, intellectual mind games. They just want to live a good life. So when a visionary with a good vision comes along, they will judge the visionary. Oh, okay, seems to be a nice person, seems to be going in the right direction. Hey, maybe I should help him or her. And they are the biggest help for the visionaries, for the people who really make this world a better place. Without the simple people, that would have been an impossible task. But I mean the stupid people, in the sense that when they know that there is something wrong, that they are doing something wrong, and they just continue to do it. You understand? That's the kind of people that drives me nuts. When they intentionally sabotage someone or something just because they did not agree with it. I have a massive issue because in my life, this kind of perfidious idiots, and they are not simple people, or maybe they are simple people, but they are just evil. Because all the simple people, truly simple people I know, they just want to have a good life, Now, the stupid people, they want to wreck everything because they can't have what they want in the way that they want, so nobody else must have it too. So, yeah, it's because mainly selfishness seems to drive them. And I'm not a selfish person, so my problem sometimes, my friends even, God damn it, I remember this ex-girlfriend of mine, she used to tell me, Jan, you have to think about yourself first. Stop thinking about everybody else. And I didn't stop. Here I am doing those silly videos in the hopes that anybody can find usefulness in what I'm saying. For most people, I bet it sounds absurd as hell. Who is that creepy old man? Anyway, so because I was explaining that, hey, they're people and, you shouldn't take it like that. They're just people who find someone beautiful and they want to, see if they have a chance. Oh, apparently that person or somebody related complained to Quora. So there comes Quora. Instead of listening, instead of taking the time, if they really cared, they don't. Hey, what's going on? I can see you are a considerable contributor here to the forum. What's up? That person, and they should mention that person has complained, because then you won't measure, you won't touch the person, right? You won't talk with them. Okay, that person is touchy. I won't approach. That person has, I would have gotten it. But in the way that they did, at least I didn't see, they didn't show me what the hell they were referring to. And same thing in YouTube, same thing in Facebook. They did this most of the time in Facebook. They stopped showing what you wrote or what you did. And this is enervating, extremely, for an intelligent person, at least for me. I don't know if I'm intelligent. People call me intelligent, intellectual, philosopher, whatever. Must be true, right? I don't know. Who am I? God damn it. I'm not even myself when I look at myself in the mirror. I see some guy. Oh, God damn it. It's so weird, I think this is why people have midlife crisis. By the way, I didn't. You didn't see me driving a motorcycle anywhere or running after, going to going to discos to try to impress young women. So don't worry, I don't think it kicked in. Now I was forced out of my relationship. Like she decided she wanted to be a career woman now. Hooray! So I had to forfeit everything that I built up together. Hooray! Um, so yeah, it was done in such a horrible, cold manner that, wow, I never thought that was possible. Yeah, living and learning. But yeah, what do I even say after that? Anywho, um, I lost the line of thought. Must be my age. But point being, I've just started remembering all the things that I lost. I had a whole collection of the Skalk. Skalk is like anthropological work. It's a gathering of texts written by historians, anthropologists, archaeologists of Scandinavia. I lost most of it in this whole mess, you know. When she moved in my life, I had enough stuff to supplement a whole house. You know, now I had to start from scratch. You know, so maybe I don't even have time for midlife crisis. She stole my midlife crisis. That thief. Anyway, couldn't go around chasing skirts because had to pay debts, had to pay this, had to pay that, had to. God damn it! 3 horrible years. Cannot do anything because I have to run after all the prejudice I had, all the sacrifice I did for that person. Jesus Christ. I need to stop saying Jesus Christ. He can't help me, apparently. Uh, he didn't, did he? So yeah, that's what we get in our society for actually caring about people. So yeah, ex-girlfriend said that I needed to stop caring about others and I needed to care more about myself. And now I finally realize what she meant by that. You know, unfortunately, the notion of self-sacrifice was kind of drilled into me by my parents. So boo-hoo-hoo, back to the topic. So yeah, I was robbed of my midlife crisis, I guess. I just realized I didn't have one. And doing those videos has nothing to do. I was doing that 10 years, 20 years, like 10 years ago. I was already doing videos. I just deleted all of it because I'm not a fucking egomaniac. So yeah, sad. I had a lot of good content, but I had a lot of content that was good back then, if you understand what I mean. Yeah, I don't regret it. I have a hard time talking with people. I'm actually getting better now. Talking with the people who make comments in my Facebook profile or in my YouTube profile. Before I felt a bit awkward, and people usually came from a weird angle, and took me some time. What the hell is that person wanting with me? Then now I realize, no, they just find it interesting. Sometimes they want to help in the way that they find interesting. Like sometimes it is, you know. Sometimes some people find it creepy. But that's the way they are, independent of age. I think creepiness is not related to age. So another point I was making there. And apparently saying that creepiness is not pertaining age, and that people should stop with personal prejudices, because that's the only reason. Unless they are another, how the hell would I know? They didn't tell me. They just removed the post, like, and told me about it. I think telling you about it, that's what makes the whole thing wrong. You understand? If they just deemed something inappropriate in some way, and it was not inappropriate, as they said, it was hate speech. Nowadays we know, or we should, hate speech is not inappropriate. Hate speech is when authorities don't have anything on you, so they say that something you might have said might be considered hate speech, which is not. Look, do people need to say that they are not a hateful person? I can't even say that because it's so ridiculous. You know? Now, if you poke me, I'll get like that. You understand? That's not hate. Hate is like you cook it. You know, when a person walks by, you just look behind their back. And you want to know about hate? Read the book Othello from William Shakespeare. That's hate. But being fiery when somebody is saying something incredibly stupid to me, you know, trying to make me dumber. That's what really aggravates me. When somebody tries to make me dumber by saying idiotic things. And look, you can say anything I might deem idiotic. You know, I say idiotic things, I do idiotic things all the time. See my last video with the hair thing. You know, that's idiotic. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have a reason. Why would I want to look uglier, right? Idiotic. So I just decided, hey man, my hair looks funny. They need to see this. Because I never had hair like that in my life, and I find it incredibly funny. You know, my whole body is changing. That's crazy. You know, again, I don't see myself in the mirror when I look at myself. And now it's not a psychological, it's a figure of speech. If you took it to be something, anything related to a mental issue, why state the obvious, right? Let's stop right there. I don't even need to tell you who you are. you know, or you should. Unless you're a narcissist, then it's hopeless. Then what's the point of saying it anyway, right? But it's figure of speech, okay? When I say that I don't recognize myself, of course I do. But I look very different. I look very different today. Like my hair, like I always had my line up here, you understand? But because of the white hair, for instance, right? Because of the white hair, it looks like I almost have no hair. Like my hair starts down here. And because of it's white, it looks very weird. Plus, it has a scented. It always did a kind of. It was always a bit forward, and now it's starting to move backwards. Finally, after decades of me pulling it back because it would just jump right in front. I always had kind of rebellious hair. Now it's finally falling back when I don't want it to fall back. Oh, growing up is strange, people, and it never ends, apparently. So, I complain, but my complaints are usually, I have fun at the time that I complain about stuff. You should too. Complain about yourself, but in a humorous, like, be self-critical, but in a humorous way, like, know how to laugh about it, right? Don't take your self-criticism too serious. I believe that's what drives people insane, when they take things too serious. A reason why I realized that ideology is not for me, nor religion, because it kind of forces you into things you don't want. And if you don't really want, there might be something that might indicate that maybe that's not natural, if you understand what I mean. Maybe there's something wrong there, and we are being forced to do something on other people's behalf, not our own. And although there might have been a phase of humankind that this was deemed necessary, not anymore. We have a good education, or good. We have an educational system, at least, so that should have done it, right? We sure put a lot of money into it. Why is it not working? And no, giving it more money is not working either. We have raised and raised and raised the education budget, and it just got worse. You know why? Because we are not expelling the incompetent people from the educational environment. Oh, I have so many stories to say, oh, that's not true. Can you provide evidence? Yeah, sure. For instance, in the school that my kids are right now, all the parents, with my exception actually, I didn't write because I don't know the local language and I don't have patience right now to learn it. I love Finland, but forgive me, not so soon. I think I've been traumatized here, so I need some time to be more open in that sense. It's getting better. It's getting better. Today I even called town hall. I didn't get mad at the bureaucrats, so it's definitely getting better. So yeah, that was progress, man. Believe me. Remember when after the relationship, God damn it, what the hell. But anyway, yeah. I got censored for hate speech when I was actually explaining to someone that she shouldn't be calling people creepy just because they happen to be older than her. And that's the second time I was talking with somebody from a Danish political party, and she is a politician in that party. And we were having a conversation, and I was explaining to her, because her views are very radical. And I was explaining, look, not everybody is like that. You have to understand, they have this reason, like the Muslims have their reasons, and the reasons are this and this and that. Those other people have their reason, and this and this and that. We all have our reasons. Be fair, be open-minded. Like, your political parties used to be about being open-minded. Be open-minded. Oh, she filed a complaint to Facebook. She literally had me blocked and banned, and for 30 days I could not write anything. Now, if such a stupid person, because she's stupid, if she didn't understand what I said, she's stupid, because I was very clear. Everybody else did. I was being thumbed up and all that. Or she's ill-intended, what makes her stupid too, because I believe evil people are stupid, because if you were really a success, would you really be trying to screw everybody around you, or at least some people, right? And yeah, I'm just baffled about the censorship today, that any idiot, any stupid person, and that's not hate speech, that's a given fact-based circumstances, can just march in, complain to those media outlets or whatever you call them, social network, whatever, and they will just censor. It doesn't matter your reputation, it doesn't matter your name, it doesn't matter how good you are at something. They will let stupid overrule what somebody who actually knows what they are talking about has said or done. That's not right. Probably there are people that are making big money out of that, but I'm not one of them. I could if I wanted. It's just crazy. The question is what to do about it. What to do about it? Once they start with the hate speech nonsense, you freak out, okay? You freak out. You say, what the hell are you talking about? Did you lose your mind? Do you even know what that means? Read a book. Like, use those because they're factual. Like, the person is less, like, it's your intellectual inferior. If they say words like Islamophobia, a word that was created, as far as I remember, 1996 by a group of academic Muslim students of law. I don't remember right now the exact university, but they came with that wording and they did it for trolling. And the baizuo, if you know what that terms mean, the baizuo, because there's no other word, the Chinese defined it with perfection in this case, the baizuo or baizuo, please do tell me the proper pronunciation, jumped in and took that seriously. So if you use the word of Islamophobia, it is not a phobia when you know why you don't like something. I'm not saying I'm one of those, but I'm saying it's not a phobia when you can rationalize and you don't freak out just because there's a Muslim sitting right beside you in the bus. That's not the case with those people. They don't start screaming and throw themselves on the floor or have a seizure. That's a phobia, you understand? Or they freeze in total horror. That's not the case. People are outraged because they, unfortunately, they like to bomb things when they are angry at someone. And they like to kill and stone people and all that. Although I'm starting to understand this thing, why did they stone? But what? Is it wrong? Are you Islamophobe if I agree with them, or at least consider the thought of why would they do that? Right? In a society that is honor-based. Why would they stone to death an unfaithful person in a highly moralistic society? Things that make me go, Bring back merit. Bring back the intellectuals, the true intellectuals, not the liars. We're tired of the liars. We tried with them. They just lie. Anything they say is just a lie. We even tried to do what they say. They just lied. Bring back the capable people and keep the ignorant, look, I'm not talking about simple people. Simple people are wonderful. But the ignorant, the intentionally ignorant, the hate, those are the hateful. Twice, at least, are being blocked, censored by the moderation in places like Facebook and all that. Now quota. by stupid people. Bad people. Bad people shouldn't be allowed to kick good people out of somewhere. So this does drive my rage, but it's still not hate. Hate, oh, have people forgotten what hate is? Or at least got it in verse? Because this is what it is. The two times that are being blocked that I can recall right now was because I took the time to properly explain to someone why what they were saying was not correct. That they were being too brutish, too aggressive, too hateful. I will start using that word in the next conversations, because if they think that censoring me under unknown threats or unknown reasons, I didn't see the text. Maybe I have to be the one to use those trigger words or acquiescence words. Apparently they're moved by words. They have been programmed like a little machine to react to certain words. Maybe if I use that wording, she would not have done that. Let's find out. One thing is a fact. I didn't flirt with her. That's a fact. Remember, they accused me of hate speech, whatever that means. They write, it's clear by that it goes against the policies against hate speech. What? Well, what? Wait, I'm literally trying to talk the person out of hating people because they are older than her. When she was inquiring, why creepy old men always flirt with young women? Well, because they're cute, they're interesting, they're good to look at, they're yummy, whatever reason is related to the fact that they find them attractive. And if you find person attractive, you go and flirt. Now, the question would be much more interesting. She asking herself, why do I do not even bother when it's not a creepy old man who is flirting with me? It's just a good-looking old man or young man. Why when they flirt with me, I don't find it creepy? Like, she should be asking herself that. And then the meaning of the word creepy, that I find really stupid. It's usually used. Again, my English is very limited. That doesn't mean I'm intellectually incapable. I just grown up with all the different languages. But, why would they do that? It just... There he lost the thought again. There's so many things I think about when I start with those thoughts. So yeah, I do lose it sometimes. But to be censored for actually telling someone not to be so hateful, that is a joke. But because I didn't use the wording, if I had said stop being so hateful, I would definitely, I'm not explaining, you understand, why, what, when, how to avoid, what to do, right? Instead of explaining, I just said, stop being hateful of old people, you ageist, and then complain to the, to Quora about her. If that was the case, I don't know. That was the only recent thing I wrote. I haven't written in months. And most of my posts, or at least some of my posts, have over 1,000 views, and many people seem to approve. So, debatable. I don't know. I'm tired of talking. See you tomorrow.